Officer whose speeding car killed Indian student Jaahnavi Kandula will not face criminal charges due to lack of sufficient evidence. Now, the King County Prosecutor's Office said they have decided not to move forward with criminal charges against the police officer Kevin Dave. The 23-year-old Indian student died after she was struck by a police vehicle driven by Officer Dave when she was crossing a street in Seattle on January 23rd last year. The officer was driving more than 119 km/h speed as he was responding to a drug overdose call. Jaahnavi, hailing from Andhra Pradesh, was pursuing a master's degree from the Northeastern University. Jaahnavi's death ignited outrage, especially after recording from another officer's body-worn camera surfaced last September, in which that officer laughed and suggested that her life had limited value and that the city should just write a check. The attorney's office, however, noted that the comments made by Seattle police officer Daniel, recorded on his body-worn video, were appalling and deeply troubling. Moving on, in a major development in the Pune drugs case, the authorities have uncovered many links. Now, drugs were being smuggled under the guise of processed and packaged foods. Drugs hidden in packaged foods were being couriered abroad, and some drug consignments were sent to London. Now, the investigation has led to identification of a courier agency in Delhi allegedly involved in the illicit operation. The owner of the agency has been taken into custody and cops are probing underworld connection. Remember, on February 10th, Maharashtra police had recovered drugs over rupees 1,100 crores, weighing around approximately 720 kgs from Pune.
पूना में अलग अलग जगहों पे जो सर्च हुए उसमें 720 केजी एमडी के सुमारास कॉन्ट्राबैंड सीज किए गए थे। दिल्ली में जो कल ऑपरेशन हुआ उसमें अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 970 किलो ड्रग्स सीज किए गए हैं। एक कुरियर एजेंसी का नाम सामने आया है जिनके द्वारा ये कंसाइनमेंट रेडी टू ईट जो प्रोसेस्ड फूड पैकेट्स होते हैं उसके माध्यम से इसको लंदन को कुरियर किया जा रहा था। इस प्रकार की बात सामने आई है। उसके भी जो कुरियर एजेंसी का जो व्यक्ति है उसको भी ताबे में अभी दिल्ली में हमारी टीम ने लिया है।
Moving on, India's legendary batsman Sachin Tendulkar is having a ball of a time on his first ever visit to scenic Kashmir. The Master Blaster played roadside cricket with locals in Kashmir's Uri. He took to social media to share the video with his fans, and the veteran cricketer was accompanied by his wife Anjali and daughter Sara on the trip. In fact, the little master took selfies with locals before eventually carrying on with his journey. Let's take a look.
हम खेले चलो अब खेलते हो
From sports to entertainment.